Without killing me, other people are the plants.
And Lynn is your wife?
Yes, my former wife. We still work together.
Oh my God!
We're still partners.
It's still working. That's okay.
So anyway, we work well together. So yes. So
and
anyway,
then when 5 o'clock hits, it's like, see ya, see ya. It's like those two guys.
I just want to get a shot of the guy.
Morning, Sam. Morning, George. The sheepdog in the. So anyway, no, Steve owns Fieldstone Vineyards, and his partner is his dad, Dick Singer, and they're about 2 kilometers west of us. It's actually kind of fortuitous that he's here because he, we buy grapes from Fieldstone. It's one of the few people that we find.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
Yes, we know Dick.
So
yeah.
anyway.
Okay. Yeah. You know your father.
So yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So that's the deal.
I'm waiting for my glass. No, just kidding.
I thought you had one of those things.
You don't want to put 3 bottles in there, do you, Dan?
I don't want you spilling any in
That's half of my production. No.
Well, thankfully, we're a little bit past that these days, but in the early days, you wouldn't be that far off the truth. But yeah, we've come a long way in 10 years. So. Prince Edward County's first and inaugural Chardonnay Muscat. So Chardonnay Muscat is a particular clone of Chardonnay. There's a number of producers in Ontario that make it. It's also fairly popular in the Macon region of France. It's known by its more romantic name, Clone 809. But anyway, it makes a very distinctive kind of wine. So what I'm going to encourage you all to do is just to bring your glasses and just do this, okay? And just take a very small amount and of this particular wine. Well, Chardonnays can obviously come in a whole bunch of different styles depending on how the winemaker works with them and where they come from.
Right.
And I'll talk to you a little bit more about that as we kind of get into today, because there's some pretty cool things going on with Chardonnay in Ontario. But in any case, the main differentiation for me for Chardonnay Muscat is the aromatic profile is significantly different, and also the body is a little bit different from Chardonnay, regular Chardonnay. So you good there? You're multitasking.
What makes a good winemaker?
What do I think makes a good winemaker? Wow, that's an interesting question. I think knowing when to do something and when not to do something is really important, and both almost equally. And I think that winemakers, I prefer the term I'm a wine grower, and so I think that there's a big element of being connected to what's coming in, and not that you can't make it exist on different levels. On the sort of very basic level, it should always be a good drink, right? But then once you get beyond that, I think that what happens is, and this is I think where the art part of it comes in, is that it starts to become a reflection of the environment that it's made in. So when people talk about terroir, they talk about the soil, they talk about the weather, or they talk about climate, or they talk about whatever. But the one thing that they don't often talk about is the people that live there, because they're part of the terroir. They're part of the environment. And so our sensibility, for me as a Canadian winemaker, I won't say that I have necessarily a Canadian sensibility, but in the way that I taste, but the connection that I have with what we do here is fundamentally different than somebody that is used to making wine, and it's something that you adapt to.
Dan on track. Dan on track. We are at Rosehall Run, standing here with the winemaker and co-founder of the winery, Dan Sullivan. And Dan, we have tasted some amazing wines already, but you are promising to let us sample something incredible right now as well. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the winery maybe to start? Sure.
Well, we founded Rosehall Run in 2001. It's a 150-acre farm. We have just about 23 acres planted to vines, mostly Pinot Noir and Chardonnay. The original plantings took place in 2001, and over the ensuing, I guess, 7 years after that, we've expanded to our current size. We currently produce about between 5,000 and 6,000.
What are you going to be tasting?
We're going to be tasting our 2008 Estate Pinot Noir, and we'll also be tasting our 2008 Single Vineyard Cabernet Franc. So
Okay.
those will be the two wines that we taste. Standing in our barrel cellar of the winery that we constructed in 2007. This, I believe, is probably the largest barrel cellar in Prince Edward County. Not that that's the be-all and the end-all, but one of the cool things about this, literally, is that we don't use any cooling this to keep it at an ambient temperature, so it's very environmentally friendly. These are very minimal carbon footprint, and only occasionally we'll warm it up a little bit in the winter time just to help our wines get through malolactic
That it's one of the deepest as well.
Yes,
Right?
so right now you're standing on a floor that's sitting about 16 feet below grade. We've excavated and blasted 65 tons of limestone.
What'd you do with all that limestone?
Well, we actually brought a crusher on site,
Okay.
and we ground it up and used it for all of our driveways, backfill and stuff, so
Oh,
that
great.
it really didn't leave the property. We designed Rosehall Run. That was one of the underlying sort of precepts that we used for it, was that we wanted to sort of touch the world as gently as we could, considering that we were using dynamite. So shocking about this is you get through the first couple of feet of soil, clay, rocky soil, and then bang, it's solid limestone all the way down here. And we have a picture of it over on the other side that you can see, but yeah, it's truly an amazing place. So, you know, certainly our soils that we have here are very much on solid.
Why don't we give it a try?
Sure.
Yeah,
well, we
my
can do
glass
that.
has been empty for 2 hours.
Okay, well, let's go. The first thing is we're really about Pinot and Chardonnay here.
Yeah.
That's what we mostly grow, Rosehall Run.
Okay.
We have a smattering of others.
Deadly.
So, yeah, I know. Yes, it's called a thief, too, you know, so go figure. It's deadly and it's a thief. Yeah, we'll have to lock it up and put it away after we're done with it. Anyway, so what we will be doing is we'll be tasting the 08 Estate Pinot Noir, which is right over here.
Okay.
And so this year, all I think here at Rosehall Run is, as opposed to doing like big, huge batches of all of our stuff mixed together, I actually keep the clones and the blocks of our vineyards separately. Separate, and then I actually barrel them down and age them. That's the process of taking them down off the fermentation deck and down into here. We actually have a hole that you saw on the floor earlier, so we actually gravity feed it right through the floor, so we don't use any pumping to feed it into the barrel. So it's a very traditionally made and styled wine at that level, and with our operations. So what we're
What
going to
is the thief grabbing for us
so
right now?
the thief is grabbing our 2008 Estate Pinot Noir.
Poor George still has an empty glass.
So, well, we'll get you.
Okay, I taste it. Okay.
You, on the other hand, have an embarrassment of riches there. So, anyway,
So what
that's
else
going to
is
get
there?
done. So I'm just going to get on the other side, and then we'll probably sit on it for about 6 months so that it comes out of bottle shot, and then it'll be available on the market. It's a very limited release wine. There might be, I haven't made the final blend cuts, but I'm expecting there'll probably be around 200 cases of it.
I'll have a sip
Okay.
So,
first.
okay, very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you guys know each other.
Okay,
Cheers.
yeah, oh wait, from a blend of
Cheers.
barrels.
Yes. So this is the 2008.
And a lot of people think the 07 was like such an amazing vintage from Ontario,
Which it was.
which it was. We're also hearing that some people are saying, hey, wait a second, oh wait, it's like equally as good and maybe better in some ways.
Oh, it's in the glass here. You can decide for yourself.
All right. Very nice. Good structure. Very, very nice. Good tannin. And lots of fruit in there too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very, very nice.
But there's this kind of underlying prettiness that exists, and I've been told that I make girly wines,
Girly wine.
which is
That's
fine.
why I like
Which
it.
is fine by me.
They are.
We invite people to come to Prince Edward County.
Good.
Definitely.
Well, we do too. So come on by and visit.
Thank you very much.
Anyway,
Awesome.
so
Thank
cheers.
you, Dan.
So,
Cheers.